Hello and welcome to News Hour. Coming up in this edition, over 50 boat owners in Tombo and training on environmental sea safety. Sludge in partnership with BBC Media Action trains journalists on the use of social media. And the consultative summit of the African Union Committee of 10 heads of state and government of the African Union ends in Equatorial Guinea. All those stories and more lined up in this edition of News Hour. Welcome back. Over 50 boat owners in Tombo community have been schooled on environmental sea safety. The session, which was organized by the Maritime Administration, was to prevent environmental hazards. It was also to ensure that boat engines are protected from waste dumped into the sea. Doreen Barry reports.
Environmental safety is key to the work of the Maritime Administration, an institution established to regulate all vessels plying the sea. However, unlike other means of transportation, boat owners are now to take license before plying the sea, which is part of the maritime effective measures to ensure they are monitored to adhere to the maritime safety laws. The Director of Shipping and Marine Environmental Officer Ronald Moore said that the institution has moved from sea safety measures to environmental disciplines, which are important if sea accidents and boat engines to be prevented from problems. He said that they have realized that most of the garbage entering the sea are from the marketplaces, which is why people should ensure they manage them well to prevent the sea from environmental hazards. He called on boat owners not to allow their passengers to drop garbage into the sea, but call on them to have a bin to deposit their waste. The senior shipping manager, Tunji Koka, said that they revised license for boats plying the sea, calling on them to obtain one before plying the sea, as defaulters will not be permitted to use the sea. He said that the licenses are given for 1 year and it is advisable for them to register every year. Environmental safety is key in reducing sea accidents and protecting their engines. One of the harbour master for Tombo community said presently they lack a dumping site, sand mining is affecting the work, no office space for traffic regulators, and no landing site to land their boats.
Welcome back. A training program with station managers and newshead paper editors is ongoing at the Harry Anthony Memorial Hall / head office on Campbell Street. The program was organized by the BBC Media Action in partnership with the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, with the topic social media with broadcast journalists and newspaper editors. George Ferguson is the country director of BBC Media Action Sierra Leone. He explains the importance of the training to Lucian Ganda.
We decided to do this training today is there's been an increasing amount of discussion about social media and the increased use of social media in Sierra Leone, the opportunities that it offers for democratic participation and discussion, and also some of the risks that it poses to people who are online. And so we thought it would be the right thing to do to work with SLADG and invite various other stakeholders from journalists, the government, and CID to come together and discuss some of these issues and try and talk about in particular the responsibilities of all different parties when it comes to using social media.
Okay, now why did you decide to target station managers?
Well, we thought it's a good place. They are very influential within their radio stations and their newspapers, and so we thought that's the best place to start. And in terms of understanding their responsibilities and also the opportunities that exist for those organisations to increase and enhance their online profile and so on. I mean, social media offers a wonderful way for media institutions to reach out to audiences.
Center for Policy Studies, in collaboration with the University of Sierra Leone, has ended a one-day seminar on revenue mobilization in Sierra Leone. The event took place at the British Council Hall at Tower Hill, attracted students from the Institute of Public Administration and Management, government officials, and members of the private sector. Marama Suma reports.
Impact in the country. Chairman, National Revenue Authority Jallo, in his keynote address, described revenue mobilization as a path to sustainable development and finance. He said such financial resources can come from both the public and private sectors. He said the National Revenue Authority is responsible to administer an effective tax system that is simple, fair, transparent, accountable, and inclusive.
It's very timely. It's a good initiative, and I compliment them for that. It's good to have the young people who are growing up to become productive citizens to know what the tax obligations are and how they can contribute to society. Mobilization is the means by which the NRA collects monies due from people so that government can use it to undertake its development and other projects.
Charlotte Lopez, a representative from the Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, explains more to the students about their future role in governance.
This is the whole process about raising or increasing domestic tax revenue. We have areas that are in dire need of more funding. Education, health. Our children just sat the NPSC exam. Like I told you, allow me to take off my banker hat for a bit and just talk like a Sierra Leonean. And we heard the horror stories about what happened this past Saturday. Part of it probably is due to underfunding. Part of it is the fact that sources for raising domestic tax revenue, which include PAYE, what Mr. Foster just said. In other words, as soon as you start working, you should be paying income taxes, which include corporate income taxes. That is, businesses must pay corporate income tax. That includes GST. So when you don't pay GST, or the man says to you, if I don't give you receipts, you will pay 15%, but if I don't give you receipts, you don't will pay. All of these, we are cheating the system, and we remain at 27%.
President, Sierra Leone Chamber of Commerce, Christopher Foster, said that the private sector plays a great role in terms of revenue mobilization. He said taxes should be at a rate of which every Sierra Leonean can afford, to pay, no matter what kind of business they do. Director Center for Policy Studies Jesse Porter lauded the panelists for their participation in the seminar. He said the Center for Policy Studies was established in the University of Sierra Leone to help future generations to learn more about governance issues for them to be able to do a research on their studies. Questions were asked by students about the topic of the seminar.
President Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma has returned to Freetown after chairing the consultative summit of the African Union Committee of 10 Heads of State and Government of the African Union in Malabo, Equatorial Guinea. The meeting concluded with the adoption of the final draft of a communique by the coordinator and members of the Committee of 10. Razia Bashkamara sent in this report.
Site declaration is only viable option to redress the historical injustice done to the African continent. The reform of the United Nations Security Council should be comprehensive in accordance with Decision 62557 of the United Nations General Assembly. They also decided to stress the critical importance for heightened engagement with the permanent members of the UN's Security Council, instructed the Ministers of Foreign Affairs of the C10 to come up with a proposed decision on the progressive approach for advancing the common African position in UN reforms process, to be tabled at the African Union Assembly in July 2017. Reflecting on the present geopolitical realities in terms of Africa's numerical strength, growing economic power, population dynamics, and increasing role in multilateral reforms, and the urgent need for equitable representation at the Security Council, it is evident that Africa deserves a place in the permanent category of the United Nations Security Council, with all the prerogatives and privileges, including the rights of veto. The Committee of 10 Heads of States and Governments of the African Union expressed their appreciation to President Theodora Mbasogo, the government and people of the Republic of Equatorial Guinea for hosting the meetings, the hospitalities and excellent facilities provided. The heads of states and governments commended the efforts of the coordinator, President Ernest Bai Koroma, for his strong leadership and commitment in spearheading the pursuit of the C10 mandate and advancing the objectives of the Common African Position on the reform of the United Nations Security Council. Meanwhile, President Ernest Bai Koroma expressed profound gratitude to his colleague heads of state and government and other distinguished participants for attending the summit, while calling on all African leaders to speak with one voice on the common African position, especially during the forthcoming African Union Summit in July this year.
We believe strongly that from now moving forward, the African efforts should be African efforts, and Africans should no longer be seen or associated with other fights. We should concentrate in the African fight, and we have all agreed that at the next AU summit, a decision that will clearly send a signal on the way forward will be announced. I want to thank all of you for your contribution in making that possible. But more particularly, I must thank our host, who happens to be the co-chair, for his wonderful, wonderful African hospitality that he has extended to all of us. As C10, we have a specific mandate. And the mandate of the C10 is to canvass the African position on the reform of the UN Security Council. Our African position is based on the Ezulwini Accord. That is, we are asking for 2 permanent seats in the Security Council and additional seats, in the permanent basis of the Security Council, and additional seats in the non-permanent category. Now the second request or the second demand is that if the permanent members, after the reform of the Security Council, are going to continue to enjoy the veto powers, we are also demanding that the veto powers should be extended to the two African countries. That is basically our demand on the reform of the Security Council. Now, on the issue of who should represent Africa, that is a decision that is yet to be made, but when Africa is given the opportunity to be represented, that decision will surely be made. On the other issues that have to do with the ICC and security issues that affect Africa, these are issues that are discussed or we have been discussing at the AU meeting. As you may be aware, there were calls by some African countries for a withdrawal of Africa from the ICC based on what is believed to be the position of ICC towards Africa. But that has not been conclusive, as you may be aware, and discussions are still ongoing. There are already African countries that have taken the position of withdrawing from the ICC, and it is also very clear as to who. But generally, the request we are making for membership and on a permanent basis is a request that we believe is a justifiable demand that Africa needs to make over the years, because most of what is discussed at the Security Council are issues that affect Africa.
Vice President Victor Bakary Fall has received the Minister's Special Advisor to the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Dr. Tedros Adhanom, at his Tower Hill office in Freetown. Thomas Neal reports.
The special advisor is in the country to solicit the support of the Sierra Leone government to his candidacy for the post of Director General of the World Health Organization. With the elections to be held on Tuesday, 23rd May in Geneva, Switzerland, Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, who is on tour to Liberia, Guinea and Sierra Leone, is the endorsed candidate of the African Union. Briefing the Vice President on the purpose of his tour, Dr. Ghebreyesus said they are in the final push of his campaign and is therefore here to thank the government for their support and to seek final blessings from African leaders as tradition demands. He expressed utmost satisfaction with the support he has been getting from the African Union member countries. This, he said, has made him a front-runner in the race. In his response, Vice President Faure welcomed the delegation and extends African traditional greetings to the Prime Minister of Ethiopia from the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. He informed the delegation that the African Union has taken a position and Sierra Leone, being an integral part of the African Union, supports that position. He urged the candidate not to relent in this final lap of the campaign and wish him well.
Our college here for gave education to so many people from Ethiopia.
The candidate, Dr. Tedros Adhanom, is being accompanied by his campaign chairperson, Professor Sinet Vesisa.
Thomas Neal ending that report. If you're just joining us, you're watching News Hour live on the SLBC TV with me, Shala Bello. The Department of Peace and Conflict Studies has commissioned its Peace Park on Fabric College campus, Mount Oriel. Here's the report.
Head of Peace and Conflict Department, Professor Memunatu Pratt, described the commissioning of the park as very important. She noted that the students should have a place of solace where they study. She said that the students appreciate her as the founder of the Peace and Conflict Society, and they have also crowned her as Peace Mother. She said all over the world they have peace parks that can be used as a podium, adding that their efforts did not go in vain. The president of the Peace and Conflict Society, Abu Paka, said they commissioned the prestigious park which during his campaign he promised the department that they will provide them with, a dream that has been realized. He said this park is a great example in the university as its first in history. A student of Peace and Conflict Studies, Mohammed Jallo, said they opened this peace garden to promote peace at Frabe College. In a similar sentiment, another student, Abubakar Kagbo, described the event as unique with the aim of making students have time to study. Cheno Bari appreciated the leadership of the president, Abdul Paka, whose initiative brought to reality the construction of the Peace Park.
The 2017 Joint Assessment exercise by the Skilling Up Nutrition has shown that there has been a decrease in the financial tracking and resource mobilization in the 2016 Skilling Up Nutrition monitoring process. One of the aims of the Joint Assessment exercise is to give a snapshot of challenges faced by Skilling Up Nutrition's 4 processes. Daffy Kima Macaulay reports.
It's a global movement committed to scale up nutrition with a focus on reducing hunger and undernutrition in children. It unites people from government, civil society, the United Nations, donors, businesses, and researchers in a collective effort to improve nutrition. The joint assessment exercise aims at promoting the coming together of in-country stakeholders to align their vision for scaling up nutrition in each son country. Another aim is to set common priorities for 2017 to 2018. The joint assessment exercise is organized around 4 processes, which include bringing people together in the same space for action, ensuring a coherent policy and legal framework, aligning action around and common results and financial tracking and resource mobilization. In 2014 and 2016, there is a decrease of 44 to 33% in the SUN progress monitoring. National Coordinator Scaling Up Nutrition, Dr. Mohammed Fo, said the exercise is for the SUN countries to reflect on the challenges and identify where support is needed. He said that ending malnutrition is not an institutional mandate.
The 2017 Joint Assessment exercise is aimed to assess progress in some countries between the period April 2015 and April 2016. It gives an opportunity for nutrition stakeholders to come together and identify country priorities for 2017-2018 and an opportunity to reflect on challenges and to identify where support is needed to realize joint goals in country.
Deputy Commissioner of the National Commission for Social Action, NACSA, Haja Afsatu Kamara, said one of NACSA's mandates is to coordinate, unite on social protection and implement social protection activities. Chief Executive Officer, Focus 1000, and Chairman of the Civil Society Platform of SUN, Alhaji Mohammed Bailo Jallo, said the civil society platform is the biggest component in SUN.
We really want to thank all our partners and to reaffirm our commitment. We believe that when you are moving forward, you need to stand for some time and pause and look back to see what progress you have been able to make.
Sun countries include Sierra Leone, Benin, Cameroon, Ghana, and Guinea, among others. For SLBC News, Daphne Kimamacaulay reporting.
The First Lady has met with Kinde Caroline Whitfield, who is celebrating her 100th birthday. The Centenarian was born in Bathurst, now the Gambia. We bring you highlights of the meeting.
Congratulations, ma'am. God bless you. Bless you too. As we have there, yeah. Are you all from grammar? Yes. See the grammar Carol? Yes. Exactly. Then are you life? We thank God Almighty. Not so many Australians they live up to 100. Nowadays, when you listen to obituary, the young people in the die, the land so you don't change the statistics. Like he says, alone will not supposed to live to old age. The whole world knows say some people they live to old age. So, Grandma Carol, I don't know, we will say short prayers because now your birthday. They will wish you happy birthday on behalf of the state. Then you go tell me how you manage live all the years. They are waiting at the secret of success. Thank you. So Florence.
To you, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Grandma. Happy birthday to you.
Grandma, you now you go singer.
How old are you now? How old are you now? How old are you now? Happy birthday to you. So tell me now.
Tell me the age now, no. Tell the man then I television the age. No, tell them. Tell them. Grandma, on behalf of President Koroma, the Minister of Social Welfare and Gender, and on my own very personal behalf, we, the state, they do this bouquet. Let it begin and Kaola program and the one day. Thank you. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We get card for you. Then we get present for you. Go back there for count presents. One to you open one naira now, or you go open and now we see left to you.
We open one for her. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Keep you warm.
Keep you warm.
There are. We go inside it and scalp them outside. All there.
The celebrant is actually my grandmother. She's Mrs. Caroline Kinde Whitfield. She was born on the 17th of May 1917, and as you can see, it's 100 years today.
Wow. So how many children does she have?
She actually had 6 children, but she only has 1 surviving for now.
Okay, and how many grandchildren does she have?
Numerous. Many grand and great grandchildren. I can't name them all.
Okay, tell us about her career. You know, what did she used to do in her life?
She actually she was born in the Gambia, and she came to Freetown to pursue her education, and she went to St. Joseph Secondary School. She wanted to be a nurse, but during her training as a nurse, she couldn't stand the sight of blood, so she had to leave the nursing field and actually did dressmaking and pastries, confectionaries. She was well known for her confectionaries and her dressmaking. She actually did a homemade donut, which most people who know her knew her for, and she also did dresses for people, which she did with her hand sewing machine.
Okay, Where did she live for most of her life?
Most of her life she stayed at Frobe College, where her husband worked as transport officer, so they stayed at one of the estate houses at Frobe College.
Tell us about her health.
She isn't 100% sharp, but she understands and she recognizes people and she speaks very well. Her legs sometimes could not carry her, but most of the time she can walk on her own.
Does she know that she's 100 years old today?
Yes, she does.
Okay, and about her memory?
It's not 100%, but she can remember some things, particularly the most recent ones.
How does she feel about being 100 years old?
I'm sure she's excited. You can see she has been smiling since she came here.
What have you got planned for today?
We're having a Thanksgiving service to thank God for making her to see a century, and as a family we're grateful to God, and we're going to join her to celebrate at Zion Church, and after which we'll have a reception at Boxing Hall.
Do you reckon she's going to go on to 105?
We hope so.
Even more?
It's with God. If God decides that she should go 105 or more.
Kojo Kwafa speaking to one of the many grandchildren of the celebrants. The President's Delivery Team has launched Operation Clean Freetown campaign. The campaign is a 6-month intensive cleaning exercise in Western area and will involve youths and councillors. Daphne Kima Macaulay reports.
Clean Freetown has 3 key areas, which are the waste disposal and infrastructural development, ward-by-ward 30 days intensive cleaning, and sustainable household waste collection. The 6 months Operation Clean Freetown campaign by the President's Delivery Team, partnering with the Freetown City Council with support from DFID, the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development, will involve up to 102 youth groups, which would engage in door-to-door household waste collection. The President's Delivery Team, implementing the President's recovery priorities, is under the supervision of the Chief of Staff, Dr. Saidu Konton Sise.
What has brought us here together is the awareness that it is about time that all of us join forces to make sure that we keep our city clean because of the associated advantages. In the first place, what we are seeing now in the streets is very unsatisfactory. I'm not sure there's any one of us here who really feel happy to be associated, with the kind of condition that we see now in our streets.
He advised councillors to be committed to the implementation of the cleaning exercise. Mayor of Freetown City Council Franklin Bode Gibson said when the 6 months end, the habits of cleaning should be continuous. Yvonne Akisoya is the team leader of the President's Delivery Team.
The introduction of a sustainable household waste collection system. With all of this happening within the context of an improved enabling environment. Again, I referenced the mayor's message just now, the enforcement piece. But there's good news because the police are here, the prosecutors are here, and a lot of work has been done in that area, which we'll touch on briefly.
900 ARSLAF personnel will help in cleaning the gutters and waterways. AIG Memuna Jallo raised concern on the implementation of the campaign in marketplaces.
Most major cities would provide the prosecutorial support. As you can see here, we have, I think, the 3 main prosecutors that will be attached to the courts that will be hearing those cases. It's not an issue of you being kept in police cells for a week, for 3 days, and human rights will come and say these people have been here for more than 3 days. We catch you today, you go to court today, your case is heard today, and you are penalized.
For SLBC News, Daphne Kima Macaulay reporting.
Real Entertainment and Rosinka School for Performing Arts, in collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism, has told journalists that Dr. Josry Beckley will be training people interested in music and dancing. Dr. Josry Beckley is in the country to impart the knowledge she has gained in entertainment. Francis Lenema filed in this report.
Dr. Josie Beckley is the first Sierra Leonean that has studied entertainment from bachelor to PhD. She secured her entertainment degrees in the United States of America, Canada, and other countries. Dr. Josie Beckley has also performed in several states in the USA and other countries. Patrick Cole, who is a relative of Dr. Beckley, informed journalists that Dr. Beckley started her career when she was attending school. He pointed out that the artist will be showcasing her talent at the British Council on Friday, 19th May 2017 at 7 p.m. Addressing pressmen, Dr. Josie Beckley called on pupils and students to develop their talent in extracurricular activities, since it can make people self-reliant. She explained how the Friday contest will be like.
So you will see exactly what I'm singing, but in English translation, while I'm singing in German, or I'm singing in Italian, or I'm singing in whatever language. And then that's the Westendonk Lieder, which is by Richard Wagner. These two song cycles, Songs of the Wayfarer by Gustav Mahler and Westendonk Lieder by Richard Wagner, are two very heavy Germanic pieces. They're heavy, and I'll be starting the program with Songs of the Wayfarer, then the Westendonk Lieder.
Tenor singer, also the Chief Executive Officer, Vocal Drift inspired, Pete Dalto Cisse reiterated that the entertainment industry will be rebranded if people cooperate with Dr. Beckley, as she has a lot to offer. He called on the public to witness the first performance of Dr. Beckley at the British Council on Friday.
The Sierra Leone Roads Authority has disbursed $500 million to 44 people affected on the Hillcourt and Jomo Kenyatta roads. The event took place at the Presidential Lounge of the Sheikh Stevens Stadium. Here is the report.
Making his statement at the official opening ceremony of the compensation exercise, Chief Engineer Alpha Koba of the Sierra Leone Roads Authority said the government of Sierra Leone is very much committed to meeting the demands of the people by compensating for their properties. He called on them to make good use of the money by replacing the lost properties that have been paid for. The training administrative officer of the SLRA, Joyce Nafat Bangura, advised beneficiaries to desist from erecting their structures within the right-of-way to prevent themselves from being affected in future projects. She said that the engineers on site will undertake verification process for property owners that are yet to be captured in the exercise, and assured all affected persons of government's commitment to pay for their property. Ibrahim Sori Kamara, Deputy Secretary of the Ministry of Works, Housing and Infrastructure, appealed to beneficiaries to accept the compensation packages even though the price for their properties is below the market value. The lost value of the property, he noted, should be considered as their own contribution to the development of the nation. Good roads, he pointed out, generate socio-economic development in addition to providing connectivity and bringing community together. Speaking on behalf of civil society, Executive Director of Health for All Coalition, Charles Mambu, said that the presence of civil society shows transparency and accountability of the process.
We'll take a short break now, and after the break, we'll be joining the business desk for the business news. A Sierra Leonean working for Facebook is in the country. Patrick Taylor has been working with young people in innovation to expose them to social media, and they could possibly use it to create applications that could make work easier. The son of the outgoing managing director, Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, Patrick Taylor, is working as a production engineer at Facebook, Seattle, Washington. He explains more to our business news producer, Lucian Ganda, in this interview.
Make me feel good. I think for me, when I look back and when I communicate to the kids that I talk to on Facebook, we have a few groups that we mentor, and it's how they use Facebook that makes me proud. It's talking to my parents and seeing that they use WhatsApp, and this is how we keep in touch, right? It used to be Skype. Skype was very expensive. Now we have WhatsApp, we have Messenger, and I can also see my old friends that I haven't seen in a long time. We can see pictures, so it makes me feel good that I can see that we were making connections in Sierra Leone, and I can also keep tabs on people while I'm not here. So using Facebook or working at Facebook makes me very proud, but it's people using Facebook, people that I grew up with, using the product that we've built and seeing how they are using it technically or using it to keep in touch with family members that make me feel really good.
It is going to be a news for so many people to know that a Sierra Leonean is working for Facebook, I believe.
Yeah.
So are you happy?
Yeah. Facebook is unlike a lot of companies in a good way. Right? It's all about the culture, and in Sierra Leone, growing up with a big family makes me feel like I'm home again.
Okay.
And so working for Facebook is one word, is awesome, yeah, but it's also challenging. You get to see things from a broader scope. Right? You get to see the challenges people are having, but you're solving challenges. And I think those same challenges are something we can solve in Sierra Leone. There's a lot of opportunities, a lot of very smart kids, and we just have to channel that.
Okay. Do you think there's need for Facebook, because so many people can say that since you're working on Facebook and WhatsApp, is it possible to merge the two?
Between Facebook and WhatsApp?
Yeah.
There's not much I can say about that because I'm mostly in engineering, but I'll let the business guys and marketing and whoever else decide such things.
So let's talk about a little about the business component of Facebook. Yeah. Is it an economically viable thing?
I guess it depends on what you mean by economically viable.
Okay. Is there any possibility for improving Facebook from what it is today? Now we see people making calls on Facebook.
Yeah.
Do you have intention, or is it possible to improve on it more than what it is today?
We like to say the journey is 1% finished. Now, in terms of ideas, I don't know what else we have in the pipeline. I think the products we have now are pretty good. WhatsApp, for instance, has a lot of people, so does Messenger. But there's always opportunities. We always have engineers who hire very smart people.
Could you please just take us through your mentorship program? I learned that you're doing some mentorship in Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
Do you have children you mentor?
Yeah.
Take us through.
There are a few kids that actually met through Facebook. You know, we have a group. One of the group is called Innovate Salon, and what we're trying to do is just get these kids to imagine when you're a kid, you're very fidgetive, right? You want to touch stuff, you want to see how things are doing. It's to foster that energy and keep it going, because what I tend to see is kids start out with this curiosity, they want to build stuff, and at some point that disappears, right? And so when I talk to kids, or when I meet them, like, so whether it's like Innovate Salon or a different pipeline, generally it's through Facebook. What I'm trying to instill is, hey, I've made it here not because I was blessed or whatever, and surely that's part of it, but it's that you also have an opportunity. When you look around, there are lots of opportunities for you.
Finally, is it possible to be in Sierra Leone and create an app?
Oh yes. I think Sierra Leone is actually one of the better places to be. It's a growing economy.
Patrick Taylor ending the interview with our business news producer, Lucian Ganda. A customer has praised the local product, which he says is good for men as it helps them stay healthy. Let's hear his words in Creole as he explains in this short interview with Dominic Tucker.
Very good. This is very good. Me na pa, but this when I drink am. What you do for me, me say this will help. It will help you push man. Oh, you know what you know sabi inside man na man.
Okay.
True.
So because of this particular drink, this particular traditional drink,
of course.
Okay, so how you call the Nescafe this?
This na cafe tuba.
Okay, cafe tuba.
Cafe tuba.
Oh, okay, so alright, so what's this thing we are this so happy for you to do so?
Well, this one give me big well body. From down to up. What you know the net correct.
Correct. Okay. So that complaint with my use for complaint. You say at least a net. You say for saying you try. But now this you try now.
Oh, then the surplus.
Plenty.
Correct.
Oh, I should not let me do and say this speaking of commodity.
So then the old man don't know that they provoke me in fact.
It's like old pass. I don't want back.
But old pass me say pass your body now.
Pass over because of the thing here.
Yes.
Alright, so who's got advice now you want to tell?
Well,
so family
to make anybody test this one, let's see, yes, you get ahead.
Okay.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I know.
Well, that's all we can offer in this edition of Business Updates with me, Shalabella. To end news are the main points again. Over 50 boat owners in Tombo have ended training in environmental sea safety. SLAJ, in partnership with BBC Media Action, has trained journalists on the use of social media. And the Consultative Summit of the African Union Committee of 10 Heads of State and Government of the African Union has ended in Equatorial Guinea. That's all in this edition of News Hour. On behalf of the news editor, Asmiba, I am Shalabella. For more information about our programs, send us your comments to our SLBC live stream page on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you for watching. Have yourself a great weekend. Goodbye.